It's the Guitar Dads. It's the Guitar Dads.
Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar people by guitar dads. This week was their foul play with This Icon's Death, and the cops just said, never mind. We go back to basics with more gear for your mantle. There's another green drive pedal, but this one's different. And only Dave is more human than human. Matt's as artificial as it gets. This week on the Guitar Dads Podcast. And now, one human who rages against the other machine, Matt and Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave, and welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome.
And that intro music is not AI. It's 100% written and
100%
performed
Matt.
by me.
And your brother.
Well, yeah, my brother sings backup vocals.
Yeah. So it's real, folks. It's real, but I mean, you're kind of getting we'll get into it. We'll get it. You're gonna bother me.
Here we go.
I have an itch to scratch, and I really want to scratch it
here
right
we
now.
go.
But anyway, if you are watching us live on YouTube, thank you guys. We're gonna open up the chat too, and maybe if you guys got some questions we can get to.
Yeah, live on.
so
That's a new thing
started-
we're doing. Is
Yeah.
live on YouTube, right, Dave?
Live on YouTube. So if we
Is it on
if
YouTube or is it on Facebook? What's it live?
it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we got the chat going here, and if you want to join the show, thank you. And if you are joining the show, thank you.
If somebody wants
anyway.
to type stuff in for us to react to during the show, we're willing to do that.
Yes, if we got the
So-
time, when you got the crime, we'll do it. Anyway,
Right.
thanks so much for joining us. We're going to put all this stuff at the front and at the end, just because we want to.
Right.
Find us at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and Threads, as I said, YouTube, and join the Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast over there. We still got Patreon. If you want to support the show and keep this thing going, we would greatly appreciate your financial support. For $1 a month, you keep the show and the lights on. But unfortunately, we no longer do any extra Patreon content. So we get it if you don't want to go over there and donate.
We get
But,
that too.
You
But,
know, if you want to be nice,
Yeah.
we appreciate
You
it.
know, we love that. So, Dave, I've
Anyway.
graduated to wearing golf attire on the podcast. So now I have on my
Jesus.
golf quarter zip, and but I did so, and then I went with the hat just to be like Dave. Thankfully I have guitar themed hats. So
Yeah, and I told him before we started
like Dave
recording,
does.
he's only wearing the hat to hide the baldness, which
Right.
his hair also does. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, you
That's
know.
why I wear a hat.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know, Dave. I mean, there's supposedly there's revolutionary things happening in Turkey with hair.
oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
going to Turkey to get like hair surgeries.
Oh, maybe. Okay,
So,
I have
I
hope.
don't know, maybe
I
you
have
should think
hope.
about that.
I have hope.
Yeah,
Anyway,
anyway.
yeah, let's get into it. We've been a couple weeks without the show, so we're happy to be back on.
Yeah.
Go back and check out our episode with Jamie of Super Cool and Mark of Summer School Electronics and the new Smoking in the Boys Room pedal they just put out
Very cool.
about 6 weeks ago? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's very cool pedal. Go
It's
check
pedal
out that episode.
nirvana.
It is pedal nirvana. That's right.
It's the sound of the 90s in a pedal.
It is. It really is the sound of the 90s. But yeah. All right, let's get into
Check it
it.
out.
We have to get into the Dataverse.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dataverse.
So
As I hypocritically play that.
should we talk about that? So we've talked about this before. That is AI.
Yes.
Some
we are
people
hypocrites.
love it, some people don't like it. And so I think we're gonna like open up a contest for those of you that want to record a jingle and send it in.
Yeah, I think that's where it can be cool.
Right.
We
could consider it.
I'm okay with AI when you are in this realm where you're having fun with it and you're just kind of poking around, fun with friends. And I feel like you listeners, you guys are kind of like our friends. So, we're want to have a little bit of fun with it, but we try not to do too much with AI because we really believe in the creative mind and keeping it strong. But we get that AI is out there. We want to use AI to help us, not to do the work for us. So,
Yeah, exactly. And that
you know,
and that's actually an example of like I feel like it helps us because one, I think that jingle sounds actually pretty good and it adds a little more of a lively flair to the
sadly it
podcast.
does.
And and let's be honest, like that would take a while to do it and produce it and make it sound good and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And so which is just time I didn't have to do it. But you know, I'm if one of you has time to do it and is interested in doing something like that, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So, you want to submit, go on the Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast, send us
And
a
it doesn't
jingle. We'll,
right, it
we'll
doesn't just have
insert.
to be Dataverse, it can be anything else, like, it can be
Yeah,
the
anything.
Quiz Eye
Yeah.
for the pedal guy, it can be, it can be anything, Back to Basists, it can be
Yeah.
anything.
Back, which we're going to try to do tonight finally.
It could be, Utility Futility, although Utility Futility, I gotta
That's
say,
another good one too.
that's a jam we came up with on that, well,
That
AI
that's
came
a
up with it, yeah,
it's pretty good. It's
it's
pretty
a good
good.
reggae thing,
Do I
so
have it here? No, I don't have
if
it
you wanna
here.
do Utility Futility, it has to be in reggae, it can't be in another style,
Ah,
so
Utility, futility.
right?
there we go.
Oh,
Anyway,
anyway,
you know
all
what?
right. So
All right,
that's enough
back
AI
to the
for
back to the
the day.
Dataverse.
Welcome to the Dataverse.
Only because that
Okay.
is kind of awesome.
It's pretty good.
Um,
But we,
it's really good.
we reached our AI limit for the day, so that's enough.
Yes. Well, so let's get into this. This came up a couple weeks ago. Did you hear that there's a private sector
Yeah.
forensics team? I don't know why. I didn't read about that part, but they kind of completed their own events investigation of the Kurt Cobain supposed suicide. And I say supposed because they're now claiming that it's possible he was murdered. Now this has been more than like this has been talked about over the years, and it's always been this, conspiracy theory and this and that, and certain people want to believe that he did sadly end his own life or he was murdered. So
I
what say
know.
you, Matthew?
This is I don't know. I mean, I'm part of the group of people that says like, like let's just let this be, right? Like let's let it be. Like this is a tough like look, it was a tragic thing. I mean, you know, Cobain was obviously like a really disturbed individual at times. And the whole thing is sad. Like, was he really? It's hard to believe that that would happen, but you never know, right? You just never really know. But I feel like, look, it's like how people want to believe Elvis is still alive, right?
Right.
That's that kind of stuff. So,
Does it add to does it add to the legend though?
oh, of
Because I feel like
course,
that's what's kind of driving this is, if he, if he's murdered, you kind of bring in a whole new group of people who are more sympathetic to the, to what happened to him and all this stuff. Not that you're not sympathetic because the guy had, sadly a lot of issues
right,
and took his own life, but what if, right? What if? I mean, of course, you want the truth to come out, but what if he truly was murdered and somebody is out there that
right.
did it? Wouldn't you want to know?
I mean, yeah, I would want to know 100%, but it's like, is it really happening or is this just like a manufactured thing by this like private forensic team? You know, I don't
Right.
know. It's a hard
And
one.
what's
It's a
what's the
hard one.
drive here? What's the
Right.
drive?
Right.
It is
Exactly.
very interesting.
So
But anyway, so I thought that was interesting to mention. Speaking of
it
Nirvana,
is. Yeah.
a lot of Nirvana between the pedal and that news, and the Foo Fighters have announced a new record.
Yeah.
It's, in my opinion, aptly named "Your Favorite Toy." Like, is that named after Grohl's affair from last year, 2 years ago? Whatever the hell that was.
Whoa.
Whoa, hey, anyway,
Hey. Hey
too
now.
soon. Um,
That's great.
so
So
yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. I'm looking forward to this. I'm psyched that they're hitting the road again. Dave did kind of clear up the the firing of Josh Freese.
Yeah, he
Basically,
did,
it was
didn't he?
kind of like a mute. It wasn't really a mutual
No, it wasn't
parting, but
mutual according to Josh. No way.
it wasn't mutual. But they both agreed that like he never really resonated with the music, and I think that's important. Listen, I mean, if you are
That's true.
that good at what you do and you're asked to join a legendary band and the music doesn't really jive with you, are you really the best for the job? I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I can understand the reasoning there. And good for Dave Grohl for coming out and saying something about it because Josh Freese was Freeze. Is that how we say his name?
Freeze,
Freeze or
like
Freeze?
freeze, Mister Freeze.
Freeze. Yeah, like Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze. No, yeah, like he kind of sounded a little bit bitter about the whole thing in his interviews, right? Where he was just kind of like, well, one day I was just not in the band anymore. I was just fired by Dave Grohl. I mean, he basically came out and said that. And, and so Dave Grohl comes out and is like, yeah, I mean, basically that's what happened. Um, but Dave had to come out and really kind of explain what was going on. And I get it. Look, and Dave even acknowledged as well. He said it was really hard for us to move on after Taylor. Of course it is, right? Um,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's. I think, and I forget. Of course, I forget the name of the new drummer that they're taking out on tour. For this run, but it's I think it's really hard. I don't think this isn't as simple as, and I'm not going to try. How do I say this without insulting any musician? I The drums, especially in a band like that, is kind of a major piece, a major driver of the music, and I feel like you got to get the right guy or gal.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's not like a keyboardist sitting back there kind of filling in parts,
No, right.
and
I mean, I
so
totally agree. It's such a big part of who they are as a band, right? I mean, obviously Dave Grohl is a major drummer himself, and Taylor being such a like amazing, kind of performer, and obviously had the chops as well. And isn't that Josh doesn't have the chops, but I
no, he's
can
an
get that they're
incredible drummer.
right, and I can get that they're incredibly particular about how they want the drumming to go in the band. So, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. But it was an interesting kind of thing that that came out in the news with Dave actually um, acknowledging it and talking about it, which I thought was kind of cool. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm glad they kind of clear that up, but I'm excited that the new record, hopefully it's good. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of these bands that just keeps rolling. And we didn't
Even
talk
through
about it.
controversy.
Right. We didn't talk about it. I think this is one of the few Grammy years where, Foo Fighters was not nominated for something. So in the rock category. So that's what it is. They just seem to be one of these like, staples of like the kind of, I don't know how to put it, like the popular rock scene, I guess, Dave. Like
Yeah,
I
I
guess we
get
put it
you
this
can
way,
put it that
like the
way.
mainstream rock scene. It's basically like them and Metallica, right? Or like,
Is that it?
so yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like the mainstream rock scene, right? Like, I don't know, maybe there's others. I just kind of made this up just now.
I
Um,
think you
but
did.
but
Still
yeah,
more creative than AI, let me tell you that.
it
Um,
is. It is.
yeah,
So
there was.
anyway, but
All right, well, we are going to move on to our next topic of the evening. But first, I want to let you know that this show is sponsored by, of course, Copper Sound Pedals, the boutique
yeah,
pedal company building unique effects right here in Massachusetts. We hope we just had a major snowstorm in the Northeast. I'm sure everybody's heard about it if you're in the US,
it was a
but
blizzard. The
it was a
blizzard of
blizzard.
26. We're recording
It,
this the day after the blizzard of
yeah,
26.
yeah. Um, Kind of last minute because we weren't going to really do it. We were supposed to have Alex on, and then that happened. We were going to do it last
Yeah,
night, and then the
and then he
blizzard
got into
happened,
the
and he was
blizzard,
snowed
and
in.
yeah,
And then Matt and I
it's too
kind of last minute,
complicated.
like, you know what? Let's just do an episode and get one out this week, and he'll
We
be on
always
next
got
week.
enough information
So
for an episode.
yeah,
Anyway, so
yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk
So
about we're talking about the mod shop.
we're talking about the mod shop. Yeah, we are going to talk about. Let me tell you what the mod shop is. First of all,
Tell us what it is, Dave.
I don't know what it is.
Well, there's copy around here somewhere.
There is copy around here somewhere. I'm looking for the copy. Hold on a second. Hold on. Timeout.
Is it not
This is
here?
where AI really could. This is where AI could totally help me out. Um, where is the copy, Alex? I don't see my copy.
Here it
And we
is.
did talk about the mod shop. You found
Here it
it?
is.
Oh, I
It's
did. I got it right here.
the mod club, we should call
It
it.
is
The
the
mod
Mod
club.
Club. What is
Yeah.
the Mod Club, you might be asking? Mod
Yeah.
Club is the newest addition to the ever popular Copper Sound DIY. Mod Club is a monthly subscription service where each month members gain access to exclusive breadboard kits with build along videos by Alex himself. Each month, the box includes 3 to 5 mystery items and a chance. And I'm going to guess those mystery items are going to be guitar pedal related.
Yes, they
Just a
are.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not just going to
I
get
mean,
like,
maybe not.
piece of rope or something,
That's
you know,
that's right. Maybe not. Maybe he's gonna.
little trinkets.
Yeah, he's
you
gonna give you
know.
like iPhone dongles. Yeah.
It also comes with a chance to a chance at a golden ticket redeemable for any DIY item up to 99
Oh, that's
bucks.
pretty cool. You get a golden ticket like you're
Members,
Charlie in the Pedal Factory.
yeah, that's right. Um, and members also have access to other exclusive videos and a vault page consisting of DIY tools available only for Mod Club members. How much, Matt? I know you're asking. I can see him mouthing it over there. How much is this? It's a freaking fortune, fortune, folks. It's going to cost you a ton of money. So we do not recommend this. It's only 39 bucks. 39 bucks a month for
39
this.
bucks a month.
For what you get, I think it's a steal. Especially if this is like, if you were into this kind of thing deeply, this is the way to do it. We've always supported Alex and his DIY. And I think this is a very cool addition to that.
Yeah, but there's a
program.
rumor about what the first month is too. There's a rumor out there that it's going to be
Yeah.
a big muff. A
No,
breadboard kit.
I heard it's going to be an absolute like complete replica of the King of Tone.
Oh, well,
Just
that'd
saying.
be cool too.
Just saying. No,
But I don't know. I
Uh,
have some intel about a big muff, so maybe you should check that out.
you've
Copper Sun
always had intel
pedals.
about a big muff.
Uh,
Anyway, as a bonus, if you guys are listening to the show now, you get to use the new code at checkout, DADPOD10, for 10% off.
There you go.
Not Dad Bod, Dad Pod. So there you go. Thanks,
Yeah.
Alex. We appreciate the support.
Thank you,
check out the
Copper
mod
Sound
shop.
pedals. Yeah, check it
all
out, guys. CopperSoundPedals.com.
Moving
Yeah,
on.
that's
Now,
a
we
cool
don't-
thing, the mod club, man.
It is.
I
It really is.
I think it's good that Alex and the gang are getting in on this kind of subscription mystery box type of thing. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So it's a cool little
Now,
thing.
We do not have a an AI generated
No, we're
jingle
not going to
for
do
this
that
segment.
anymore.
I think we could.
Which one? Which
Anyway.
segment?
Back to bassists.
Oh, back
Anyway.
to bassists.
Let's get into
Yeah.
this real quick because we do want to, we want to kind of give the bassist time to enjoy the show here. We know a lot of you guys play bass as well as guitar, or you're just bassists.
You're just bassists that sometimes play guitar when your lead guitarist of your band says it's okay.
Okay. Where'd that come from?
Or I don't know. I'm just sometimes that happens in dynamic bands.
Did it happen to
know?
you? Are you still
No. It
butthurt
didn't
about
happen
this?
to me.
Okay.
No, I mean, no.
Um,
Are you kidding me? I wasn't gonna. I'm not a bass player. Are you kidding me? Forget that. You saw the the bassist in my band. She's unbelievable.
I mean, yeah. So yeah. You would kind of you'd step all over yourself out there.
Yeah, we did talk about my playing bass because Christina was a bassist in my band, and like I told you, the band's kind of on hiatus. I don't know what my future is with the band. We've talked about that, but we had conversations over the years about how she, wouldn't mind singing occasionally on some songs, and she was like, "Well, I'm not really going to sing and play bass. Not something I want to learn how to do." And there was a couple of songs where I was looking at what she was doing, and I was like, "I can do that," and she's like, "Yeah, you this song you could do." It was kind of funny, but a lot of like the funk stuff and other dancey stuff we did, like she was working hard. So anyway, Let's talk about this, Dave. This
Well,
is a
maybe she'd
walrus
be into this. This is
offering.
a walrus
Yeah,
offering.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
called the Mantle. I mean, you guys have probably heard about this. It's an analog-based preamp. It's a good DI option. This was created in collaboration with Ian Martin Allison. Who? What was the? He also collab. That was his other baby was. Oh my God, what was that?
He does a lot of cool bass
What was
stuff.
what was the thing that came out last year? Shit, the nerds talked about it on Gear of the Year. Isn't that was that one of his babies too? Anyway, of course I'm forgetting what it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
this thing, I mean,
I don't know.
you don't know.
But he is
So-
involved in a lot of cool gear stuff for bassists. You can tell that I'm not like a big bass gear guy, but
Yeah,
he's
and
very
as we
highly
discussed this,
respected in the bass
yeah.
world for sure.
Well, apparently, his thoughts that that there's a lot of the DIs that he's owned have been kind of there's always little tweaks and problems that they've had, and this kind of fixes a lot of that. He wanted something a little bit more simple.
It's very simple. It's a three
It's
knobber,
very simple. Three
which is
knobber.
odd for a bass preamp, I would think. Is it not?
I
odd?
would. I don't know. I
Yeah.
would assume that
And the
other
three
ones have
knobs-
become more complicated.
In case this comes up on a future quiz eye, the three knobs are bass, gain, and treble.
Yes,
Alex
There you go.
Treblebeck. Also,
Alex
don't
Treblebeck.
Also, don't miss our new golf tournament coming out, Treble Beach.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! I knew you were going to call that one out. I'm
If you
going to
join the
have to.
Facebook group, you can see the promotional material for Treble
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I mean, it looks so first of all, we love Walrus. I think Walrus puts out amazing stuff. We got to have Colt on the show a couple years ago, met him at NAM
Yeah.
last year. He's a super cool
great.
guy. Walrus is a super cool company. And I think they do a lot of things right. So
Beach. Agreed.
I don't know. I mean, so are we even skilled enough to talk about this thing? I did want to
No.
kind of throw this out there because I thought it was fair that we did our back to basis segment.
Well,
and
look,
this
it's
was
a
kind
preamp,
of a cool,
right? So,
yeah,
So look, it's a preamp. So what that basically means is, and I think it's a great thing for every bassist to have in their gig bag, if you're gigging, because this is a great backup to your bass amp itself, right? You can always just go, direct into the house with something like this and be able to get a bass sound. Now, that's going to be a pain in the neck if, you're a bassist that's used to having a cab on stage with you. But if you're doing like an in-ear kind of a rig, or just even in a pinch, right? Like you can just kind of stand on the side of the stage, and if the venue you're playing has a sub, you can kind of stand next to the sub and get by the gig if something catastrophic happens with your gig, with your amp on stage. So I think that's a cool thing to have for this. But even if you just want to, just like a guitar preamp, this seems to me like almost like a tone sweetener as well, that you can have in front of a bass amp kind of a rig. So if
Yeah.
you just want to, if you do want to do a little more EQ tweaking or just have a different flavor of tone, and I think these are great. I mean, so
yeah. So we wanted to mention this, and we're the
Very
the
simple.
very
It
simple.
does, the other cool thing though, because I was talking about front of house, like going front of house, it does have an XLR out,
It does have an
um,
XLR out,
which is
yes.
very cool. I just
Yep.
noticed that here. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Yep. So
Yeah.
all
So
right. Want to move on?
we're
on
hoping
this,
to
or-
kind of expand on this back to bassists segment and bring you, maybe talk about some famous bassists and their gear and things like that. But obviously Matt and I are not bassists, so we're going to struggle through this with you guys, just for
But I know
entertainment purposes.
people
only.
want to know about it, so
do.
We like it.
I do think this is a little pricey though, and I forget the price on it now. Let me just see if I can look it up.
What's the price?
I want to say it is $749 USD.
Oh, that is big bucks.
Yeah.
Geez, that is, yeah. So that's essentially the price of a analog, not analog, of digital, solid state, not digital, solid state amp.
Solid state amp.
You can
yeah.
get a damn good solid state bass amp. But again, like I think this is, I mentioned the backup thing. This sounds like it's more than a backup thing and more about, tone sweetening um, when you're doing this stuff. So, I mean, it
Yeah.
has, it has, they're saying it has custom wound, what they're calling sapphire transformers, which are based on Neve designs. So, like, they're doing some cool stuff here that I think you're probably going to hear in the tone. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it definitely is a pricey little sucker. I don't know. You tell us guys if you think this kind of thing is cool for bassists or not. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Anyone in the chat? I'll scroll the chat here, see if
it's
anybody
definitely a
has any comments on
bougie.
it. No,
It's definitely like a
it is
bougie
bougie.
bass preamp. But guitarists are bougie all the time. Why can't the
Of
bassists
course,
be?
bases should be
Back to
too.
bassists, right?
Back to
Okay, all right.
bases.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's move on.
Moving on.
We finally have um, time to get into this topic, which is dumb guitar takes. I feel like this should be a rotating segment as well because these are never ending.
They always come
Um,
up. They never end. And but we haven't talked about a couple of these that I, was thinking about. And do you want to talk about a couple of them that I think are dumb?
yeah, why don't you hit on the ones you've got listed, and I'll kind of go off on
All
my
right, you
thing.
can just so the first one is capos are a crutch, just learn bar chords. So that's that's a tough one. That's something that snobbish guitar players have said forever. And I actually couldn't disagree more. I think capos
Yes.
add a cool tonal element to this, just to everything about what you're doing with them. And I think I think there's some level of truth in that. Yes, they can be a crutch if you don't know. Like, who was the famous? There was a famous blues guitarist. Oh no, I'm not gonna remember. Oh,
Joe Bonamassa.
we need Philip here, and that's basically how he played. He just moved the capo up and down the neck and played, depending on the
Oh
key.
wow, you don't
Right.
know who it
So,
was?
oh God, what was his name? I'll Google it. But what's your thoughts on this as I Google that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like, how like the we always say like the nerds and the analytics are getting in the way of sports right now. This is such like a nerdy, like, like a fretboard nerdy kind of thing to say, right? Because aren't we trying to encourage people to play guitar? And unless you are
Yes.
familiar with certain techniques to basically use your finger as a capo up and down the neck, you're just making it
Right.
so much more complicated. You're simplifying it by putting a capo on your guitar and playing away. Go have some fun. Okay.
Right.
Sure. Is it great to learn? Is it great to understand the cage system and things like that, so you can kind of understand how to move up and down? Yes.
Yeah.
Should you
Yeah.
learn a
Right.
system like that? Yes. But
Right.
like, it's a dumb take to say capos are a crutch because capos are valuable tools.
It's just another
There.
tool in the arsenal. And so
Yeah.
so that guitarist I'm talking about was none other than Albert Collins.
Oh, it
And
was.
yeah, who was a master telly guy. And I don't think, that's not the reason why he did it, that he didn't know how to play in other keys without the capo. Of course, that's not the reason, but he did it a lot. And I think that actually illustrates the point. He did it, I think, in part to, and I'm just kind of making this up now. You guys tell me if I'm way off. I think he did it in part to get a certain sound, right? And he was known for that. I don't know.
Well, there's
like
that too. That creates a
percussive
completely
tone.
different sound.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he was known for like a percussive tone, and like he would still play lead. Like usually, there's not a lot of lead playing going on with the capo, but he did it right. So just another example of it's a unique tool and it can lead to some cool things. So I think to say like it's a crutch and people shouldn't use it is lame. It really is.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, hit me with
Yeah.
another one.
Let's see. Oh,
Because this one
here's
that
one
you
because I
have
saw
here,
a reel. I'm gonna skip the one and go to the last one, Dave, because I think it's interesting. I saw a reel on um on YouTube, I think a short, I guess it's called a short on YouTube, where there was
that's
a
'cause
guy that
you
basically yeah,
you didn't see a fake on YouTube? Anyway, all right.
I knew there was a lame
Moving
joke in
on.
there. Do, 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 do. Um, so
Already spent
some
that one
guy
tonight.
was playing, I think he was playing like a Tom Morello solo, and he was like, "This is what the Tom." I forget what solo it was. I'm not gonna remember, guys, but it was like, "Here's the solo without effects. Like if it was just clean, this is what it would sound like." And of course, it sounded a little bit lame, right? Because it was just like it wasn't like an overly complicated guitar part. I guess was the point. But there was pull offs, there was hammer ons, there was
Yeah.
something happening there. But of course, like when he was using that,
Okay.
it was one of the solos where he like really liberally uses the whammy pedal to get that cool like wah, 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 like just cool stuff that he did. And he did that a lot, of course. Um, and and so like he was playing that and basically saying like, oh, like this doesn't sound good at all unless it has a major league of effects on it, was what it was. And it was pretty controversial in the comments. A lot of people are kind of saying like, Tom Morello is awesome, what are you guys talking about? Like he was very innovative in how he did that. And some people are like, yeah, he sucks, and he's never a good player, he's overrated. And I just think that's such a bad take. It's the same, people say the same thing about the Edge, and we've talked about this a lot, and maybe because we're like gearheads, I think the usage of that stuff and the creativity that is needed to get those sounds out of that gear is is takes skill in and of itself and is art in and of itself, right? So no, you don't have
Huge
to like
skill.
it.
We've
You don't
talked
have to
about
like it.
this.
Yeah, you don't have to like. You don't have to.
I,
That doesn't have to be your cup of tea. But look, you can't say like, oh, the guy sucks as a guitarist because all he does is use effects. Like, and first of all, pretty much every guitarist, except if you're jazz guitarist, is using effects. Even jazz guitarists, you use
New effects.
effects to sweeten tones up and things like that, right? So like, come on now, man. Like, come on. That I don't
Give
think
me a
that's
break.
a good take.
We spent. I remember we did an episode and spent a good chunk of time on the Edge specifically about. I think it was when the what was that pedal? It was an MXR pedal that came out. Was it called the Joshua Tree? Was it like
Might have
the
been. Yeah,
delay?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe I was around that time. And how like the skill alone it takes, and how it's just the creativity. Speaking of like AI versus like a human, speak the creativity it takes to utilize some of these effects in the way he did, and how he was essentially a pioneer of that kind of stuff.
Right.
People, I mean, people rip him off all the time,
Oh, right.
in all
Totally.
sorts of music,
Yeah, totally right.
and how
And
he
that like
used his
now
effects.
right, and I think that's kind of the hard part for someone like him, in that like once you know what he's doing, maybe takes away some of the, takes away a little bit of the like allure of it, right? Like when you first hear it, you're like, what is making that sound? Then you're like, oh, it's a whammy pedal. Oh, he's scratching the strings and he's just kind of using his pickup switch as a kill switch. Like, but like he's one of the first guys to do that kind of stuff. Not
Yeah,
the first guy to do it,
the first, but he,
but
yeah,
he did it, right? And it's the same thing like Eddie Van Halen with the tapping. Like, yeah, his tapping was unbelievable and it takes an unbelievable amount of skill. But let's just be honest, like it was a little bit of a party trick. And the other thing that Eddie Van Halen did that was like I would say is like much less kind of skill oriented from his tapping is all like the whammy stuff he did,
yes,
right? Like
I was just gonna
not
say
the
that.
whammy pedal, but
Yeah.
like they're not like it's not hard to do a dive bomb, guys. But like Eddie just made a great just did a great
He was
job
a
of it.
legend of it.
Oh,
He was a legend of it. He's known for it. I mean, and Matt just popped off, so we'll wait till he pops back in. But I'm going to comment on that because I think if you go across time in music, you can easily pull out musicians from every genre who have been able to take an effect and utilize it in a way that others have not, whether it's a drive
right.
pedal, a delay, a reverb, any of that stuff. And they just did it better than anybody else. So because is there like a jealousy thing here? Are there
Yeah,
musicians out
totally.
there
There
because
totally
they didn't
is.
come up with this kind of stuff?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because look,
also
like that's
let's
not what it
the
is,
Edge is a
right?
great guitarist. He's written
Right.
great music. Let's just why are we taking anything away from him? What? Because he wasn't like the Eddie Van Halen of of being able to create the stuff on his own without using effects. Come on. That was
Come
their
on,
sound.
man.
That's the U2 sound.
Come on, bro. No,
Enough
I
of this.
totally agree. Did you see that I just got kicked out and I had to come back?
Yeah,
Did you notice? Okay,
I did
good.
comment on it. Well, I
What a
actually
pain
kicked
in the
you out.
neck that was.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just got kicked out. My internet's totally fine. It's really annoying. But anyway, yeah, okay. So I think we wrestled that one. Did you have any bad takes, Dave?
I kind of echo the second one here because this was going to be one of my takes. Is like
Oh
a
yeah.
$200 guitar through a great amp sounds better than a $3,000 guitar through a bad amp. So why are we talking about guitars at all? I'm reading
Well,
exactly what you wrote.
that
Um,
right, right. But that's
right?
lame. That's also lame. And I'll
Totally
add this,
lame.
and I'll add this. I'll add like on top of that, the other bad take that's kind of related to that is you shouldn't buy a nice guitar unless you're like a really good player,
Yes.
right? Like you don't have a need
Well,
for
that's a
nice
whole
gear
separate take.
unless you're a really good player.
Yeah.
Well, but
No,
it
buy
speaks to
what you want. Buy
it
what you
speaks to
enjoy.
right. It speaks to this idea like, like there's no real need for certain expensive gear, right?
We've
And
said it. If it inspires you to
right,
play, even just play, never mind play something specific. If it inspires you to play,
right,
do it. If you can
do
afford
it
it, buy it.
and inspires you to play, I would totally agree with that. And this particular thing about a 200 guitar through a great amp sounds better than three. Yeah, I mean, look, like that's why I would say you need all the good gear if you want. If you want a certain sound, you don't need a $3,000 guitar. You don't need a $3,000 amp, right? But I
I
would
mean,
say I will say
there's
a
a
$200 amp, a $200 guitar into $200 amp, um, you know, there, arguably, of course, great players can make that stuff sound great, but notice the great players aren't playing that stuff. They're playing much more higher end stuff, and that's for a
well,
reason, right?
unless you're Mike Rutherford from Genesis and you were caught playing a Bullet, which was heavily
Yeah,
modified
that's
on the last
lame.
Genesis tour. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And Michael
but
Michael
anyway,
Kraus, we got to acknowledge the chat. Michael Kraus here
yep,
says, if you can't afford it, finance it. Yeah, I mean that's what Guitar Center and
that's right.
Sweetwater
That's
would want
exactly
you
right.
to do.
We support that. We've done that.
We totally support that. And my Guitar Center credit card balance is at 0 right now, and that doesn't feel right to me.
And that's only because you're reading to the right of the decimal point. If you read to the left of
Okay.
the decimal point, we'd find out.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
it is?
yeah, that's how you're supposed to read it.
Oh, that's so
Um,
gee. Oh, I gotta go, guys.
yeah.
Got some explaining to do.
I will
Yeah,
say though,
no.
there is a little bit of truth to this, and I hate to say because we're talking about dumb guitar takes, and generally speaking, it is dumb. Um, but there are examples of playing a good $200 guitar, and I use air quotes here. A good $200 guitar. There are some that you could get to sound great through, say, a Killer Two Rock or
Right.
a Soldano or something like that. If you have a really good amp, you can get a really good sound out of it if you find the right cheaper guitar.
Right.
Um, but I don't think a $3,000 guitar. So if we're gonna go the opposite side of that, sounding better than a $3,000 guitar through a bad amp. I mean that I don't think you
That's
can.
lame. Look, it all
That's
matters.
lame.
It
It all
like in
matters.
the end, it all matters, and it's not. There is this age old discussion about, oh, should I buy a more expensive amp or a more expensive guitar? And I would argue like whatever you feel is right for you is the way to go, right? Um, they are good inexpensive amps out there, right? But I would challenge you, um, you know, play it head to head with, a really high quality amp, and you're gonna feel the difference, right? You just are. It may not be your thing, but you're gonna feel the difference. There's a reason why these amps exist and people buy them, right? It's not,
Yeah,
it's because they actually sound good. Now you might argue, no, it's because they're
and they do.
status symbols, and you don't need, no, I think that's true to some extent. Like I think a Dumble has taken on a life of its own, and that's a thing. It's same with like a Burst. I mean, these things are just very rare, and there's hype around them. um but there's a reason why they sell tons of um essentially copies of these legendary gear, because they sound great and they're great to play. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna just kind of go off on a little bit of a tangent here on this because this is very sacrilegious for me to say this, but having now played my Friedman JEL for a little bit and
yeah.
having owned the Marshall SV20, which is the vintage studio, which is like the Plexi, their 20 watt from a few years
Yeah.
ago. Having known that, now granted, I couldn't play that at true volumes because my attenuator wasn't that great, and also I didn't want to blow my freaking head off. My comparison's a little bit weak. However, I will say this: Freeman, it's just better.
It is. It's just an awesome amp.
It's just better.
That's a great amp,
Sorry.
man. Yeah.
I still love my Jubilee. You love yours.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the
Um,
Golden Jubilee too, but I love my
but I
Silver
think in
Jubilee.
terms of like the Plexi sound, Dave nailed it. Dave really nailed it
Right.
with this because I can dial this thing in to get the exact tones that are in my head of
At a
all those,
reasonable
like, classic
volume,
rock
because it's
bands at a
master
reasonable
volume.
volume.
Right.
That and it's just it's
Yeah,
great
I
amp.
mean,
I love it.
sorry to say, I think he does Marshall better than Marshall. We've talked about this,
Yeah, we have a few
you
times.
know, and I think that's to be honest with you, I think that's part of it. And I mean, you guys can tell me if I'm crazy here, but I think
Well, you
and
are.
I've said this before, but I think the magic of the Marshall, especially the higher gain Marshall, like like the 800 and the Jubilee, which are Jubilee is essentially a an 800 with a couple of channels. It's that's the combination of the preamp kind of gain and the power amp gain that gives it that tone, right? Whereas I think Friedman has figured out something in the preamp
Yeah.
where you don't need all this like straight up power amp
Yep.
gain to get the
Yep.
tones.
Exactly.
And with his master volume, like he's figured it out.
Because
So
you take your Jubilee and you crank that thing, the thing sounds freaking killer, right? I
it
mean,
really
we're not gonna
does.
disagree.
No, it really does. But
But you
unless you get
cannot
it,
play this at bedroom volumes and
No.
sound the way
Even the
you
20
want it to
watt.
sound.
even
No.
the 20 watt, it's damn
you
loud to
can't.
get it to that kind of sweet spot. It still
Yep.
sounds good. But to get to that sweet spot, that's what you need. I'm sorry, you just do. I mean, they love to be loud. I mean, they're Marshall. That's what Marshalls are.
Yep.
So
And we love them
Yeah.
for that reason. But
yeah,
anyway.
man. Yeah.
Does that take us to the end of bad guitar takes, dumb guitar takes?
I think for now it does, yeah. But anyway,
All right,
we had
cool.
to go on a
Let's-
tangent because we needed your report on the J.K. Lee Friedman that you acquired a couple weeks ago.
I think I've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I've had some time to spend with it. And
That's awesome, man.
I'll say it. It's just better. It does some things better. And now it's giving me a little bit of gas to consider other Freeman amps. I'll tell you that.
Well, I
Um,
am holding out hope that they release a 20 watt Jose amp. But even if they don't, like I'm seriously considering getting one of their 20 watters or two. Like the JJ, I
You-
just really love.
You're
I've played that
Oh, yeah?
JJ and it's really good. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be disappointed, my friend.
Yeah, and I saw
Um,
I sent this to Dave, but there's a guy locally to us on Facebook selling, the big Jose.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy because like he probably just got it, couldn't have had it long, and he's selling it, but he wants like $3,300, which is what it's worth. I'm sure it's worth every dime
Where
of
it's
that,
worth. Yep.
but that's big bucks.
That's 100 friggin' watt amp.
It's a
You got
monster
to crank
amp.
that thing in your
No, but
basement.
dude, it sounded so good even on the NAMM floor where you can't really crank it
I
up.
know.
It just sounded incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Yeah. So
Um,
anyway.
all right. Well, speaking of,
Oh.
going to the gas station.
Get in the
here.
Jeep.
Get in the Jeep and pull into the gas
Get in
station.
the gas. What's in the gas station this week? Dave?
Well, I'm putting this in the gas station. It was in our gear section, but it kind of belongs in both. Speaking of Jubilees, is the Wampler Golden Jubilee, which was just released last week.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody knew that this was being released because Danish Pete accidentally leaked it a month ago.
That was awesome.
But now it's here.
He totally leaked
So-
it. He released his
He
video
accidentally
on it
released the
on his
video.
YouTube channel when it was a month. It was right around NAMM.
Yeah, it was.
And it was just a mistake, and then he had to pull it down. But anyway, this thing obviously it's a Silver Jubilee type of amp.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not amp. It's a pedal, but
It's a
it's kind
pedal.
of like,
It's a
but it's an
pedal.
overdrive and distortion. It's not really like a, preamp type of a thing, right? It's more of an overdrive
No,
distortion
so
made to be used into a
it's got
real amp. Yeah.
yeah, it's got a so the way I mean it's got an over I mean you guys have all seen it I'm sure. It's got an overdrive and a distortion channel.
Yeah.
Each has their individual level, tone, and gain knobs. You can pick the order you want them to go in. That the whole thing, like a lot of other pedals do. Um, this is not an amp in a box, and Brian's very clear about that. It just gives I forget. I was watching his video on it. Of course, now because we're recording, I'm going to forget exactly how he
You don't
phrased it. But
remember.
yeah, but in terms of like the feel and the sound that he kind of is going after, like this captures that kind of like feel, but not it's not an amp in a box. It's not meant to be that. And so, but it captures those tones of like that era, that time.
I mean,
So
he like Wampler just continues to kill it. Like this thing, it's a regular size pedal,
that's why I kind of
but you
want
can
it.
do
That's why
both.
I
It
don't
has
need
it,
it. I
like you
want it.
said, it has two buttons on it, so you can do both. And you change, like you said, you can change the order. I mean, there's the dip switches. Like this thing, I mean, I bet it sounds freaking incredible.
Can we just go back to one of the dudes in the chat, Paul? Am I saying? I hope I'm. I don't. Paul Lou.
I think it's Paul Lou, yeah.
Yeah, mentions that he has a JJ,
And I asked him how he liked it. So
so
Paul,
tell. Yeah,
if you're still there, tell us how you like it. And we'll shout you out. Well, we already shouted you out, but anyway,
yeah. We'll
yeah,
shut you out again.
Dave and I are Friedman, fans now. We got to get Dave on the pod.
So, but back to the Jubilee. I mean, do I want this because it's a Wampler and I pretty much love everything he puts out? And everything he puts out is fantastic. Probably that's part of it. But
My
um,
sense on this is, obviously it's just another awesome gain slash distortion pedal. And I think, for people that just want all these different flavors of gain, this is just another awesome flavor of gain, right?
right, yeah.
Um, and I think that's, and even though Brian says like it's not an amp in a box, I mean, it's not, because you get these two kind of different sections of it, and it's not just only meant to do that, but you can use it as an amp in a box. You can put this thing into a crystal clean amp, and I bet it's going to sound like a Silver Jubilee. I'm just telling you,
It's probably gonna sound
so that's
close. Yeah.
essentially an amp in a box. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves, Brian. So
Can I just have a question because this is like you're seeing this a fair amount with newer pedals. Is like this whole like, do you need this kind of headroom? I mean, if you're running this thing 18 volts, do you? I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
I don't get that. I think some players like to run it like that. I never quite got it, but I think that's right. Maybe if you really want that headroom, and you feel like you're limited by the 9 volt. But again, like I think into a, maybe if you're using this into a dirty amp, you feel like you want that little more headroom that the 18 volt provide. I mean, is that really what it's doing, Dave? I don't know.
I
Um,
that now you're beyond my knowledge, but
the 18 volt also is, I mean, some people say there's a tonal kind of a difference. I don't know. I don't really understand that, but
I don't hear it because I've
um,
done that with a few of my pedals, and I've
yeah.
I just don't. I've actually done like a an AB kind of thing and just changed it right out.
Oh yeah.
It, and it's just not it. It
You
doesn't.
don't
I don't hear a
notice.
difference, but
Yeah,
not to
you
my
don't notice.
ears at least. But
Yeah.
I'm sure others do.
All right.
Um,
All
I mean,
right
so is
then.
this something that excites you? Is this a pedal that you would go buy? I mean,
I
I'm
mean,
guessing for you
me
the same as me.
personally,
Like
no.
probably
Yeah.
not,
No, me
but
personally, no, because I feel like I have these tones already, to be honest with you.
right.
But again, like if you're somebody that, loves your gain pedals and, again,
And we
distortion,
do.
and you want this distortion as well, not just, an overdrive, but you want this distortion sound. Like I said, I bet this is an incredible gain sound. And for me, what I do, which is mainly playing overdrives into dirty amps, like I don't know that this is my jam, but it's a cool release again from Wampler. I mean, the guy's just killing it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
cool.
well, that's what we wanted to talk about for gear this week. What else you got,
Well,
Matt?
we're just gonna preview it like it's actually happening where um I'm going to start the search for the Gibson J45 in earnest, and it's going to
Yeah.
kind of culminate in, we'll tease it now since we're only about a month out. It's going to culminate in a trip to Nashville with our good gear bro, Philip Carter from the 40 Watt Podcast and YouTube
Man,
channel.
you don't even consider the guy a friend enough to call him a friend on the
He's
show.
a great friend,
Gear,
but he's also a
bro.
guitar bro.
Jeez, poor Phil.
Yeah, he's the best. But it's gonna culminate in a trip to Nashville, and we're gonna go to the Amigo Guitar Show and seek out some guitars there. We're gonna probably hit every awesome guitar store in Nashville and then some, and see what I end up with.
And I am going to be so jealous of the two of you.
Yeah,
Truth be told, I cannot make it to this trip because that is the same weekend that my 9-year-old daughter has like the father-daughter
yeah,
dance at
bad timing
school,
for you.
and there is no way I'm missing that. So,
And normally,
unfortunately,
right. And normally we would plan that around you, but because we're planning it around the Amigo show, we don't have much
right,
flexibility.
you have
here.
no choice.
So
I was really looking forward to wearing like the outfits with the sombreros and the the fancy pants and all that. We would have been the three amigos, but
yeah, that could.
that would have been like a whole thing.
Can you still do that in this day and age? Can you still
I don't know. I
dress
guess we
up
could have
like
tried.
mariachi people?
We're just not going to find out.
Anyway. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll continue to talk about it. I think we'll do some filming of our escapades out there, and see what
Now
we
I'm
come
gonna
up
make
with.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction now, and I should check the odds on DraftKings whether this
Yeah, check it on DraftKings.
because I might be able to make some money here. I'm gonna say you come home empty-handed
Why?
because I know you. One, you're particular. Two, you're like me when it comes to gear. Sometimes you're indecisive, and if you're gonna make a big purchase,
If I
sometimes
can't
you just can't pull the
find
trigger.
if I can't find a good J45 in Nashville, like where the hell am I going to find it?
I think it's gonna drive you insane. I think you're gonna pick a lot of these things up. You're gonna
You
play
might
them
be
and you're
right.
gonna go, really? Is this the one? Oh, I don't know. I played that one. That one was good too. I don't know what to get. I'm not gonna get anything. This is gonna be you.
maybe. How about this? Like maybe we go to like the first store even before the Amigo show, and I just pull the
You
trigger
just
on one.
buy
I'm
it.
like, no, I love this one, and I
Yeah,
just
and
pull
then
the trigger on it.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and then the whole thing's over. The movie's over.
And then I lose my bet.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
yeah,
Matt,
don't-
Matt.
yeah.
I mean, it's. I don't know. I mean, Matt. I'm gonna right now in DraftKings. It's a plus 800 that you don't come home with a guitar. I think I'm gonna.
I mean,
take
we
that.
went to that Amigo show in California after NAM last year, and there were some incredible guitars there. I mean, let's just be honest. So there's
There
a
were some
lot of
incredible
options out
guitarists
there.
there too.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? To tell you the truth, what I'm expecting at the Amigo show is a little more, vintage stuff, which is probably going to be a little out of my price range. So we'll see, but it's still cool either way. So we'll see. You guys
are
stay
having a
tuned.
great time. I'm sad that
Stay
I can't
tuned.
make it,
I know.
but stay tuned, folks. Yeah, hey, thank you guys for joining us on the live stream too on YouTube. Make sure you check it out next week. We're just gonna kind of do a thing every week on YouTube. So come one,
And you
come
never
all,
know
come hang out.
when it's going to happen. That's the funny part.
No, it's gonna happen every show now because
I know,
when I hit,
I know, but I'm saying
oh,
like you don't know. Like we used to consistently record like on Mondays or whatever. Now
oh,
like
true.
nobody knows.
Yeah,
It's all
we're gonna
part of
try
the
to be
fun.
more consistent. We're gonna try to be more consistent. Next week we are gonna we're gonna bring Alex back for our final round of Quiz Eye. Have some fun there. We have another interview. Hopefully, if we can finally nail this date down, we've just been bouncing back and forth with Ryan Kiefer, the dude from Blacktop Mojo. We're hoping to bring that interview
Yeah.
to you the week of March 9th.
Yep.
If that can finally swing, and we got some other, we're going to try to bring you a few other interviews in the coming months if we can land those things. So if we can get consistent, we appreciate you coming along for the ride at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and Threads. And as I said, YouTube. Come join the Facebook group. Same thing. And thank you guys so much for listening and just checking us out and having fun on Facebook and all this stuff. This is all just part of the fun and the part of
We
the
really appreciate it.
community of it. So really appreciate it. Anyway, all right. Well, Matt, what do you think? That's it?
That's it.
All right. Well, that was this week's Guitar Dads podcast.
Keep rock alive. Catch you on the flip.